has never won a primary.
Never had a vote in one.
The American people have never raised their hand and said, we want Kamala Harris.
That's right.
It's never happened. She was appointed after she was put on the ticket with Joe Biden by the Democratic National Convention as their chosen pair. Now she's running for president with nobody having ever put her in the position where she should even be able to run for president. Think about all the qualified candidates out there who tried.
Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there has been having a good weekend, y'all. We're back with another reaction. We're gonna finish the week strong with this one, y'all. Before we get into this reaction, just remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe anything you see in these videos. Make sure you go out there, do your own research, find out what's fact, what's fiction. You guys ready? You ready for the reaction? Let's get into it. I ain't gonna talk your guys' ears off. Enjoy the show.
I seriously feel like something really big is coming. I know I show you guys all the stuff that's going on and everything else, but I had this really weird feeling. Did y'all see her dress at this VMA or whatever it is? Tell me why she has UFOs on the dress, even in her tour. And I'm sure you're asking yourself, why is this such a big thing? Every major event this year has had aliens, UFOs, or greys. We just had the Olympics and we had all these greys performing behind this mantis, and mantis again was known by the ancient tribes to always show up with greys, and I mean everywhere. And we had the aliens at the Super Bowl. Don't worry, it's my video. It's like every single major entertainment source is all showing us UFOs and aliens. Why? What happens when this kind of stuff is usually shown over and over again? Think about it. I wonder, I feel like they're kind of trying to show us, you know, the future. Oh, and I forgot the Miami incident right when the year started. And then right after the eclipse, we had these black shadows flying by the sun. Yeah, so sorry, but I don't think this is an accident. Either anything else that we've seen majorly entertainment-wise.
Okay, let's talk about this earthquake that could destroy all of California. We're calling it the big one. But they're saying the cascading subjection zone, it's about to go off.
Really?
When it goes off, it will be a 9.0 or higher. Oh my gosh. 4 minutes of continuous shaking.
Dude, that's just destroying a whole city.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. In 1994, the LA earthquake that happened, that was a 6.7 magnitude, but it caused over $50 billion in damage. It destroyed LA.
Dude, a 9.0 is thousands of deaths.
Animals would be able to pick up on it 90 seconds before it happened.
Dude.
They said massive tsunami.
Crazy.
People along the west coast, they would have about 10 to 30 minutes to reach higher elevation before this giant wall of water just came.
It's so terrifying.
They're saying the one plate, instead of it like getting bound up, it's literally folding over on itself.
Oh no.
So it's gonna crash.
So it'll just be like a big
oh my gosh.
so it's literally
dude.
just like building all this tension.
That's called potential energy, and then when it moves, it's kinetic.
The only person I personally know that got eaten by an anaconda was my friend's father-in-law. He went down to the river, he was drunk at night, and he tried to get a drink. Never came back. They looked for him. Everybody was partying. In the morning, they went looking for him, and there was an anaconda, and they can't dive when they've just eaten, so there's this huge anaconda with a human-shaped lump in its body. So he actually got eaten by a snake. I've come extremely close to that. Once I got wrapped, we were trying to study the snake, we were trying to measure it. I got wrapped, and the thing is, you grab it by the head, you got to control the head. And then it wraps my arms, and now my forearms are pinned together. And then it wraps my shoulders, and now my collarbone, my shoulders are coming closer together as this snake's coils are coming in. This is like a 300-pound snake. This is about a 17-foot snake. Huge snake. We're talking like thicker than a basketball, like dinner plate sized all the way down. This thing's wrapped me. I'm losing oxygen. I'm trying to scream for my friends, and nothing's coming out. And so these guys are running in just as my collarbones are about to crack. They grab the tail, and the only way to unwrap it is to grab the tail. I still had the head, but I was completely out of control. If they didn't show up, that snake would have crushed every bone in my body.
So I think under that ice in Antarctica, we're going to find the jackpot. We're going to find cities under those ice sheets.
Do you think they're still here?
Yes, I do. I do. I think
you do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that this is what the UFO phenomenon is about. Here's what I think. If they were time travelers, they needed to isolate themselves from the timeline. If you were coming from the year 2200 or the year 3500, And for whatever reason, you needed to reach back into the deep past of humanity, right? Let's say Earth suffers some horrendous cataclysm, or let's say they fought a war with an enemy that vanquished them, and their only retreat was backwards in time, to hide in time. You might be motivated by some kind of, noble intention not to mess with the human timeline to the extent that you can avoid it. And initially, you might decide to quarantine yourself to a place where you're not going to be observed by the other evolving societies on Earth. And Antarctica would be the ideal place from which to do that on this planet.
Wow.
I have another viral video for you. This is actually coming out of Taiwan, and it was captured by a group of their military Navy sailors. They were out at sea on their ship when they record this unidentified marine animal, which they are claiming to be a mermaid. Now, when you look at the creature, it does have human-like features, but it makes you wonder, is this a mermaid or is this some other unidentified marine animal? Take a look at this footage and tell me what you think.
That looks like a shark right there, right? See right there, it looks a little different, right? When it turned to its side, looked a little different. Yeah, it looks a little crazy. Looks a little alien-esque, right?
How did humans even make this? We are zooming in on a CPU of an iPhone. This is a human hair. That thing in the beginning, that was a human hair. Look how small this is and how detailed. Now, forgive me for not having knowledge of this manufacturing process, but how do they make these? It's got to be with the machine, right? I mean, look, there's the hair, and look.
That's crazy.
Look at the level of detail.
It looks like cities upon cities, like when you fly an airplane. That's exactly what it looks like.
And we're all carrying these around in our pocket, and a lot of people don't really think about what goes into actually making them, right? It's pretty crazy.
How?
Somebody's got to let me know in the comments, like, if you work in manufacturing for this, but let me know. Seriously, I'm really curious.
Elon Musk has created a company, has a company now called Neuralink, and it is the first chip that is designed to actually interface in the human brain where neurons are actually interfacing with the chip to connect the human brain to the hard drive of a computer with no physical connection, with no wires. It's like kind of like a Bluetooth.
Right.
Now,
your thoughts become manifest and operate.
Now, to a young person who has not been taught about their bodies, their relationship to their bodies, and how rare the human potential really is. When they hear that, they say, "Sweet, who wouldn't want to game without touching the keyboard?" But Elon Musk himself, in an interview recently, this is fascinating. He said, as a businessman, I have to push the edge of this technology so that we can stay ahead of our competition. He said, but we need, not me specifically, our industry needs to be regulated. He says, I'm afraid.
He's been saying this for years.
Of where this is going.
Yeah.
So all of this is leading to, and it's a term you just mentioned, what is called the transhuman movement.
I mean, it's bound to happen. It's bound to be eventually when the baby's born or at 5 years old, right? You go get your baby, just like you go to get immunized or whatever. You take them to get the brain chip, right? I mean, look how far out of touch the generation under me is, right? They don't remember what it was like leaving the house without a phone, going out to play without a phone. You have to come home and check in with your parents, right? You got to ride your bike home to check in, and then you go back out. And now they just call, right? That's the normal. They don't know that you used to have a cord connected to your phone, and at 9 o'clock, your mom would come in and be like, hey, you got to get off the phone. It's time to go to bed, right? They stay on these things all night now, right? Eventually, those chips are coming, y'all, and it's just going to be the normal. We're going to be long gone, but our kids, it's just going to be the normal, right? They're not going to be able to think for themselves no more, and they're going to be okay with it. They're going to think that's the new normal.
Oh, what is going on with all these celebrities looking different? Have you guys seen Matthew McConaughey lately? Look at this. Look. Why does he look like he's getting the life literally sucked out of him? Look at that, y'all. He looks like an evil villain from a movie. It looks like nobody is home. It looks like something is missing. What is up with all these celebrities looking different as of late? Have you seen the one with Usher? He's got these dark eyes and he looks like, look at these earrings in his ears. And then the grills. Usher has never been the one to do things like this. And then he's got his fingernails painted, all these things.
He's like, what, 40, 50 years old with a grill? Right? With his ears pierced? 50 years old with his ears pierced? That's crazy.
It's all a part of it. Just everything. You're looking at this is a true thought, like a cohesive, full thought, you know.
Yeah, I hear that. He don't even talk. Look at that. When did Usher smile or talk like that? What is going on? And then also finding out that Simon Cowell looks unrecognizable as well. He's not the same person. Look at that, y'all. From the eyebrows to the nose to the ears, that does not look like the same person. It looks like they're literally getting the life sucked out of them. And y'all remember Randy Jackson? Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes. The eyes look totally different. Look at that. Look. You see? Normal eyes. They're both looking at you. And boom. What is going on? One eye is looking at you. I don't know what the other one is doing. I mean, look at this, y'all. This is not Randy Jackson. This is crazy. And here's both of them over here, y'all, looking totally like the normal ones that we know.
A woman in Brazil is recording a Mother's Day video when her viewers pointed out something very disturbing.
Gente, vou comer com vocês o melhor brigadeiro da vida, que é da doceria da Lulu. E olha que bonitinho que eu ganhei no dia das mães atrasado, mas ela me deu. É filhinho de bolo pra abrir e mostrar. Olha, que lindo. Deixa eu abrir. Ai, meu Deus. Olha aí. E agora vamos provar. Eu sou tipo assim.
While showing her gifts to the camera, a haunting face appears in the mirror. She later goes on to show there was indeed nothing on the other side of the camera, leaving her and her viewers stunned at what she caught. In many cultures, mirrors are considered to be a portal to the spirit world. What do you believe? Is this just a reflection or something more sinister? As for me, I'm still unsure what to believe about videos like this, so I decided to see for myself. What is it about the unknown that terrifies so many? That's why I went to the local cemetery alone in the dead of night to uncover a chilling story that haunts the area. The full video drops on my YouTube channel tomorrow.
Here in the cemetery, the thought of that, I just got the feeling I was being followed. I'm out of here, dude. I'm out of here. I can't like stomach this. I'm gonna try to get through the story before I get to the end here.
Okay, so a couple of days ago, I posted a video that is exploding all over TikTok right now about the possible incoming of lots of alien spacecraft on September 14th and 15th. Listen, I know how this sounds. I don't even know if I believe it. Hi, my name is Candace and I am a psychic medium and an energetic healer, and I do channeling. This is beyond anything that I've ever channeled before. The way that this happened was unlike any other channel that I've had in my entire life. And I do this work professionally. The information that I received, I have no idea if it's real. I have no idea if this is an actual event that is going to happen. Some of you on here are saying, well, if you're a medium and this is your profession, then how come you're questioning it? Because I'm human and this is bananas. And I think it's healthy to be skeptical about what you're receiving instead of just blindly trusting everything. I don't blindly trust. I don't know the truth. I don't know if it's actually going to happen. But I was told in that channel that I needed to share it. And I didn't want to share it. God knows I didn't want to share it. But I did what I was told, just being a good little channeler, and I shared it, and there it is, and we'll have to see. I'm excited too. I want to know, like, are they actually going to show up? Are you going to make me look like a liar? I do a much better job explaining what happens when they show up, though, on my podcast, Awakening Souls podcast. So if you want to hear more about that in better detail, go check it out. You can find that podcast just about anywhere. And if you see a UFO, post it. I need to know, because I was told I wasn't going to see it. Go figure, right?
All right, there's 45 seconds we won't get back. Apologize for that one. Full of it. Just promoting her podcast.
Brazil banned Twitter.
I know.
So X is illegal to have in Brazil as of today, as of yesterday. And not only is it illegal, but you go through it through a VPN and they will charge you $8,000 a day.
I know. It's incredible that we are watching this.
Insane.
But I would remind you, they did pull this stuff when it was Mitt Romney, when it was George W. Bush, right? The rhetoric was still existential threat, right? And they always have particular versions of this, right?
Not as ramped up as this.
Right.
Is, this is like Hitler talk.
No,
this isn't. They never talked about Mitt Romney like he was Hitler.
I agree. And as I've been saying since the beginning of this electoral cycle, they fear Bobby Kennedy far more than they fear Trump, because actually Trump gives them the only argument for their existence that is functional. Right? They don't have an affirmative argument for why they should be in power, but being the alternative to Trump is, that's a pitch.
Right.
So we are now somewhere pretty interesting in the sense that I think, to the faithful, that argument still works, but to a larger and larger group of people, they're seeing right through it.
Yeah.
They're understanding. First of all, we lived through 4 years of Trump, right?
Right.
There were good aspects. There were bad aspects, but, it was not distinguished as some moment of, total failure of our system or something.
Right.
There were a lot of elements of it that were very positive.
Right. That's where a fun meme is. There's a fun meme that someone made about how you're telling me that he's going to do these things that he didn't when he was in office, and you're telling me that you're going to do these things that you didn't do and you're in office now.
Right.
Like, what?
And add to that, you're doing the things that you're accusing him of intending to do, right? All this lawfare stuff.
Have you guys... People still fall for it, right? They still fall for it and clap when they say it, right? And hold their signs up and hate their neighbor because of these things. And it's a trip, y'all. This politic, I was doing a lot of videos on it when it first started ramping up, but I'm just seeing BS on both sides, y'all. On both sides, talking about nonsense that don't matter, And I get a lot of comments on here that whatever, right? That's the scary thing about politics. If you don't agree with somebody, they'll unsubscribe, they hate you. You know what I mean? And that's the bad part about these politics, right?
Seen this terrible new trend at Whole Foods. You may never shop here again. Chocolate chip cookies contains a bioengineered food ingredient. Chicken Caesar wrap, bioengineered food ingredient. Uh-oh, the vegan brownies contains bioengineered food ingredients. This place is such a Whole Foods bagels contain bioengineered food ingrants. All these sandwiches. These delicious cakes that they're making, they're so pretty.
$40
contains a bioengineered food. How you doing? We're out of here, baby. Whoa.
You didn't see, they started off they started off Whole Foods, right? Then the greed comes in, y'all. It's cheaper to go away from Whole Foods for us as a company, do a little bioengineered, but we can keep charging them the same price and promote this store that it's all organic and healthy. Corporate greed, y'all. Corporate greed. Kind of starting to get the sense that these people at the top know something that we don't know, and they're sucking us dry for everything we got before they get out of here.
Make the rules so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well.
Look at him.
The majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you.
But at one
This photo was taken in 1997 in the forest near Sao Paulo, Brazil. It was taken at night with a flash camera. The reason I mention the flash is because that picture came out pretty clear. Here's the picture again. Do you see something right there? Let me highlight it for you. What is that? What is that thing? Now, in that area of Brazil, there are wild monkeys, but there's not supposed to be any great apes. But that's what this thing looks like. Some kind of great ape. Let's get an even closer view of that picture. Look at it. Look at it. Whatever it is, it's big, it looks like an ape, and it's got some teeth on it, baby cakes. But even though that area of Brazil supposedly doesn't have any classic apes, it might have orangutans. Yeah, orangutans. Do you think that this could be an orangutan, or is it something else altogether? Let me know what you think, Fushkis, in the comments section. Shabadoo!
The moon is empty. You can see on the new moon, you can see a ring, and there's black, and you can see it's a hole. Clearly, it's a hole. You go through it.
What do you think the planets are? They're light? It's not like dirt. Mars isn't like dirt?
It's not.
So they're not landing Mars rovers on Mars, right?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. What they're doing is they're going to places like Greenland with very, very exotic landscape, and they're making it look like it, and then they're colouring it to look red and what have you. If you go to Wikipedia, which I'm in now, and you look up under Saturn, in the first sentence it will tell you that Saturn is a gas giant, and then you go to Jupiter and it tells you that Jupiter is a gas giant.
Yeah.
Then you ask what the sun is, they say it's hydrogen and helium. Well, that's gas. Why is Venus or Mars or the moon where they landed, why is it an exception? You can see with your own eyes that it's a light. Ptolemy, for thousands of years before the Jesuit Copernicus turned up and made a spinning ball, was saying all of the 7 planets are entirely luminous. They are portals.
Oh, you're telling me there's no moon there?
There is.
It's not a solid object?
It's a more attenuated transcendental material.
I'm an American in Italy, and I'm here to inform you about America's shitty food and how they are making us sick, and why Americans are fat and Europeans are slender. Why? Because while we think we might have the same food, we actually have different, shittier food. I'm going to give you a concrete example. This is Fanta. Fanta in Europe is made from sugar, carbonated water, and real orange. In the US, is all fake shit, all artificial, all bad for your health. In Europe, this is basically watered down real orange juice with carbonated water. In the US, it's all fake shit with artificial colors that are bad for you and also known to create ADHD in children. Strange.
What did they use to be able to lift these massive stones?
With the Great Pyramid, you're talking about over 2 million stones. And people think that they're cookie cutter stones that were created. And they come up with a lot of different theories of a mud ramp. But the mud ramp theory, you would need more mud than the mass of the pyramid itself to do a mud ramp. Didn't work that way. Rolling on tree logs, again, a farce. Each stone is individually cut to fit specifically in the location that it's at. So each one of those stones on the Great Pyramid, although they look from a distance or from a photo on Google almost identical, when you're standing there like I was, you can see that each stone is an interlocking stone made specifically for the exact location it was dropped into, which means that you can't have a cookie cutter system where you create 2 million stones and just start dropping them into place every few minutes.
Spacecraft, alien spacecraft. The United States has been involved in the recovery of objects, vehicles of unknown origin that are neither from our country or any other foreign country that we're aware of. Alien bodies, biologics. We as a nation have been interested in not only the vehicles themselves, but the occupants of these vehicles to include biological specimens.
Aliens, non-human intelligences, are real and they have been engaging with humanity.
Ross, we're not alone. We are not alone in this universe, and it is a simple fact. And the U.S. government has been aware of that fact now for decades. We've been
Kamala.
I don't think that's breaking news though, right? I mean, anyone that's logical now, right? Maybe back in the 90s that would be breaking news, but now, like, that's not even shocking to hear, right? And that's the reason why they're telling us now, and they didn't tell us in the 90s because we weren't ready for it, right? So what are they going to tell us 30 years from now that we're not ready for now, but they're going to tell us there, right? What are they going to tell us? I can only imagine. But when it's time to tell us that, it's going to be just like this, right? Who cares?
Harris has never won a primary.
Never had a vote in one.
The American people have never raised their hand and said, we want Kamala Harris.
That's right.
It's never happened. She was appointed after she was put on the ticket with Joe Biden by the Democratic National Convention as their chosen pair. Now she's running for president with nobody having ever put her in the position where she should even be able to run for president. Think about all the qualified candidates out there who tried just on the Democratic side, who tried to get to that spot where they could even have a chance to debate, and they were never allowed because Biden chose to have no debates, sitting on the precipice of potentially electing someone into office who has never hit any of the pre-qualifications to become someone who runs for the presidency. It's just a person passed their endorsement, a party represented them. All the support that you've seen come through, it's all political support. It's all other senators and Congress people, PAC money coming in, and delegates coming in. That's all political. You know, this is one of the things that's troubling about the upcoming election.
I'm sorry. Me saying this doesn't mean I want her to win, because I can't stand her, right? I can't stand her laugh after she says something I can't stand nothing about. I don't believe nothing she says. But the fact that she wasn't voted in by the people is what makes me fear that she's going to win, right? They rigged that to get her in there, right? It's unfortunate, but guess what? We got no control over it. And guess what? They can put her in the office and say, they can come out and say, we rigged this election so she can win. And guess what? Ain't none of us going to do nothing about it. You know why? Because we got to wake up in the morning and go to work to pay our bills, right? That's true. As bad as you guys say you want a CW type of a war and all that, right? It'll never happen. We're too busy. We got kids, right? We got jobs. We got bills. But that's why I feel like she's gonna win, y'all. I can tell by how they're building her up. I can tell.
Her policy when she was Attorney General.
I don't want her to.
What makes you think she's gonna be any different from that to now? When her whole policy was locking up black men. And she married to a white man. And her children aren't fully black. So how can you understand the plight of a black woman when your mother's not black? How can you have love for us and you wasn't raised with us? The only reason she knows us is because she studied us from an Indian perspective. That's how she learned about our civil rights. And she went on to later to go to Howard University to engage in black behavior, but she went there because she was a minority that can get into this college with the Indian heritage. Y'all think Obama was black? Because they gave y'all a skin color. Just like this Indian woman whose daddy's Jamaican, whose daddy left them when she was a baby. She's Indian. So your mind said, I think, therefore I am. So whatever you think, that's what you are. Obama never claimed black.
And don't get me wrong, y'all. Hope I'm wrong what I said before this clip. Hope I'm wrong, but I mean, it's kind of easy to see, right? It's kind of easy to see.
19. This footage appeared on the internet, taken from 2 different cameras. It appears to show a winged creature climbing up the side of this church in Italy. Is this just an elaborate hoax with computer graphics, or is there a demonic creature lurking in the Vatican?
So now we learn from the Bible why your map is upside down.
Martial law is the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian rule in a country, state, or region. It is usually imposed in times of emergency, such as war, civil unrest, or natural disaster. When martial law is in effect, the military has the power to make and enforce laws.
Alexa, if there was a war before election, could that make martial law?
I don't know that one.
Alexa, what if there was a war that broke out before the election?
Sorry, I don't have an answer for that.
Alexa, what would happen if World War III happened before November?
I don't know that.
You don't seem to know a lot, but you know about martial law. Alexa, would martial law happen if there was a war?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, would martial law break out if there was a war?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian rule and is usually invoked in time of war, rebellion, or natural disaster. When martial law is in effect, the military commander of an area or country has unlimited authority to make and enforce laws.
Interesting. Maybe that's why many people don't feel like there'll be an election this year. Just questioning.
Rondines nocturnos cuando me di cuenta de esto. Nuevo, aro azul. ¿Quién no se supone que ya el azul era color de Frutilupis? Es el antiguo. Yo recuerdo que sí había azul, güey. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Efecto Mandela?
¿Efecto Mandela?
What the fuck?
That's universal. The fuck?
I'm going to
just
start
said it.
this right off the bat by saying this is just for entertainment. I'm joking about the whole thing and I'm not serious about a darn thing. But have you seen this clip where it looks like she's wearing well, keep that in mind as I show you something. Also keep in mind that this is only for entertainment purposes. And I'm not trying to get you to come to any conclusions. I'm just showing you pictures. Pictures of pinky fingers, but there's more. Videos of just very similar symmetry. And for the uninitiated, you young pups, that's Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, Jenny from the block. But there's still more I need to show you. Now again, keep in mind, I'm only joking here. This is for entertainment only. And just because they have the exact same mannerisms and even blink their eyes at the same time and use their eyebrows very similarly doesn't mean anything. I'm not trying to tell you anything. I'm not trying to tell you anything whatsoever. Just showing you and letting you watch. You can make up your own mind about the things that I'm showing you. Again, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I mean, what could I even possibly be trying to say here? What? Like, that she's just wearing a Mission Impossible mask? That's preposterous. They don't do things like that. Kamala is a legitimate president candidate. Nothing more than that. I'm just showing you how similar their mannerisms are and their faces and the rest of it. Again, like I said, entertainment purposes only, people. Jeez, you people and your wild imaginations. Entertainment only. Oh, and I gotta give full credit to my really good friend, Josh Stone, who sent me this text. You should go follow him because he's brilliant when it comes to this stuff. And if you like my content and you don't follow him already, you'll love him. You can follow him right here on the good old Tickety Talk. And have a good day.
And the very first recipe for beer, at the British Museum, that's where it exists, is on a Sumerian tablet. And it says that the great god Anu, you're talking about the Anunnaki and these beings, they bestowed the recipe for beer onto mankind. And they gave us the recipe on how to brew hops or how to, do the hops to make the beer and all that, ferment the hops and all this stuff. It's all on ancient tablets. We didn't invent beer. It was given to us. The knowledge of how to make it was given to mankind. Something you can actually go travel and see that tablet with your own eyes. crazy stuff. This is why I like this stuff. It's pretty interesting. You know, what we kind of think we know about the ancient past based on what we learned in school is not even close to true reality. And to me, couldn't some of this text be, you know, based on the person's own perception who wrote it and etched it? Yeah, of course it is. But I think that the further back you go, the closer you get to real information. You're never going to get 100% of the information because it's people that are making these texts. But when somebody goes through the trouble of using a stylus and a wedge in wet clay and turning it into stone so they can last through the ages, and we're talking about thousands and thousands of years ago, we're getting as close we can, as close as we could possibly get to the actual facts.
Oh, wow. This is just beautiful. Look at this. There's the, you know, when you, there's the big toe and the other 4 toes down to the small toe, down to the heel. What's fascinating about this is anybody that does a study of this will notice this piece sticking out here. It's like when you put your foot in mud and you pull it out, your toes will lift up a little mud where your toes were, and that's exactly what seems to have happened here. This rough granite is just, it's pulled up this overhang here. It's spectacular. And I see that people have been visiting here because they've been leaving little coins here, which is wonderful. Maybe just come closer and show this from more close up. Okay. Well, I don't know who else has filmed this, but I think we'll put this up for everybody to see, for everyone to really appreciate. This is a spectacular bit of human history. There were giants on Earth.
You know the first thing you do in Scientology? The very first thing? It's called TR0. They have you sit down in a chair, you and me like this, except we'd be closer. Our knees would almost be touching. And then we just stare at each other. And we just stare and stare. At very first with your eyes closed, and then with your eyes open, and you just try to stare as long as you can without blinking. Then after that, they move on to something called bull baiting, where you would try to hold as still as possible, staring at me, and I would hurl insults at you and try to make you flinch. And if you could just hold perfectly still, you had succeeded. Now, at the end of doing that for hours and hours and days, what do you end up with? End up with the person that can just do this incredible, emotionless robot stare.
What is the finest timepiece that we know of? What is the thing that keeps the most accurate time? Is it a Swiss watch? What is it? Is it the atomic clock? Do you know?
What? The sun.
I would say the sun. The sky clock is the most accurate clock because that's what all clocks are set to.
It's been here forever.
And the stars.
All right, family, there you have today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This video was supposed to come out yesterday, but like I said, I had somebody to come out, or my realtor had someone to come out here and take pictures. Guess what? He didn't show up. We were out here waiting. He was supposed to be here at 1:30. By 4 o'clock, I say, you know what? This is ridiculous. I'm done. Cancel it. Get somebody new to come out here. So it was already too late to get the video together. So I put one out that had that warning on the beginning. And guess what? When you put that on your videos, YouTube somehow messes up the algorithm, right? But it's all good, y'all. We still got a video out to you guys. I was just wanting the clip that I had for an emergency, which I like to always have. But anyways, y'all, this is Segovia. Before I sign out of here, what am I doing today? We got the Cardinal game coming up at 2 o'clock, right? It's my girlfriend's birthday today, but she's got COVID. So we're gonna cook some nachos at home. I'm gonna go get us a nice New York or ribeye, see what I find at Safeway, some asparagus, corn on the cob. I'm sure she'll make some mashed potatoes for her or something. That's what we're doing today, y'all. So thumbs up, subscribe, comment. I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow on the next one. This is Segovia signing out of the Man Cave. Later.